Hey, Mama V, how's it going?
Hey, Elani, El- Ellery, Mallory.
It, Elodie.
Oh, I
Elodie.
can never get that right.
It's been 8 months.
Yo, if your mama, if your mom or doesn't even try to come up with your girlfriend's name and gets it wrong every time, that's a signal.
That's
a signal she don't like her.
She don't like you, and she's never going to say anything.
No.
Poodle sent me a message saying, I am Rowan, and I responded, and I am Miss V. And he said, you are.
You know what? I don't know if I'm completely Rowan. I just like how completely single-minded Rowan is about sticking to DeAndre, regardless of y'all. This relationship never really ended.
No.
That's what poor Elodie doesn't realize. He never really ended it with her. He just left town.
Miami. Y'all.
She's not even an ex.
This is you, me, and my ex.
You're YMME.
Yeah, they don't all need it. They don't all need it.
You don't tell me what they need.
You mean my y'all? It's back, and holy shit, with a vengeance. I think where Seeking Brother Husband kind of paled in comparison. I think
this is gonna be real messy.
I think you me or whatever the fuck you want to call it is gonna be
me.
It's gonna be grandeur on our screens.
Let's hope so.
This is season 2. Season 2. Who this? Episode 1. Great Ex-pectations. I believe they'll do that in every title. I believe there's some type of.
They'll run out after a while.
They didn't last season.
It's true. I believe there were only 8 episodes last season. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yes. Oh, season 2 is already called Unexpected News, or episode 2.
Unexpected.
Y'all, thank you. If you're old school to this, you're saying I'm trash and I'm back again. If you're new here, you think, well, I'm just here because I'm probably not going to like a show like this, but I just like my gays. And then at about around episode 3, you're going to find you're going to be at work and you're going to be thinking about Caroline, and you're going to be thinking about Intermole, and you're going to say to yourself, oh God, I'm trash too. And we're going to say, welcome. We all are.
Or you'll say, I need to go back and watch the first season. And you'll start saying things like, Lisa. You won't be able to say the word Lisa anymore. You'll say, Lisa. I miss them.
I know.
I already miss them. I miss him and Kayla Vay, and Jessica and Jerry. I can't believe that I miss those people.
I know. I don't think, because we didn't get to see everybody that's going to be on this season in this episode.
I have a feeling Kayla Vay murdered Jerry.
Yeah, I think so too. Or his wife did, because she hated him but wanted no one to be with him. She was basically Rowan in 20 years.
Yeah. I think, y'all, Elodie, poor Elodie. I don't think Elodie's very smart. Elodie needs to leave because Rowan is not giving up easily. And I gotta say, both these women are gorgeous, but Rowan looks like fucking Lauren Conrad, and like she's gorgeous.
I actually think Elodie is prettier, but
interesting.
Well, it's very rare for me to. I usually don't go for blondes, period. But we got a helicopter around me. Oh, there got an airwolf again, y'all. Somebody got shot over. I live in LA, so we've had. I'm sorry, I'm really sad about that. Actually, I said that like I was annoyed, but
someone got shot.
But at this point, it was kind of like that. But if you are listening on the show on the free feed, you're going, oh, is this a new show on the free feed? 'Tis not.
Yeah, it's on our $8 Reality Gaze Plus cringe tier. This is
Yes.
we reserve the cringe tier for the cringiest, most uncomfortable, awkward, painfully gross, messy shows.
Yeah.
Because it takes a toll on us to cover
Does
them.
y'all? Unfortunately, we got to get paid to do this.
I
Yeah.
I will say it's easier for me to cover this show than Extreme Sisters or Smothered in some ways.
I
Because
don't think anyone's going to stick their toe in their sister's mouth and
no.
then chew off a hangnail.
Trying to think what the more uncomfortable moments in our last thing involved. Don't think we had too many, but it's just this is just really dysfunctional. Really,
Yes.
although I do find Alex, Caroline, and Steven to be part of me wants to just take Caroline away from this and set her up as a theater teacher somewhere so she can
That's
have props in her house, wear scarves. She'd be a great improv theater teacher.
She would. She would be great. So this is kind of like, if you're new to this show, the gist of the show is that someone broke up with an ex. They're still friends with their ex, but now they have a new partner. What you often find, I don't think it happens for all of these, but kind of the common theme that you're going to see, that at least I think that comes up in this show, is the person, let's say person A, or the center person, the nexus person, the person that has the ex that now is with someone new, is usually more self-involved, self-centered.
Yeah, they're awful.
Not all, they're not necessarily all awful.
You're right.
Some people are awful.
April's awful. April's awful.
But some people can't let go, or have, it's not an awfulness, but almost from like a sense of either trauma or a sense of insecurity of why they can't let go.
That's a good point. I think we should talk about these people I think we should address that with each of these trios.
Sure.
Really. Do we just want to jump in with Rowan, 26, DeAndre?
Any announcements? I know I mentioned I'm going to be at the social media meltdown Sean Pulaski shows at the Improv on 420 on the Melrose in Los Angeles. You can just kind of do a Google for social media meltdowns at the Improv and get tickets for that. And then this is coming out earlier on Wednesday. So if you live close, because by the time you hear this, if you're not in Orange County, you're not going to get there in time.
Yeah, your covered wagon's going to be late.
Yeah, it's going to be late. But if you are in the Yorba Linda area, or Costa Mesa,
in Orange County, Costa Mesa,
you're fucking Minnie Mouse during the day, and you want to like go see a show, you can go see Poodle Show Cheese at the
Downey.
Chance Theater. Stop saying, you're just making me sadder. At the Chance Theater.
Theater in Anaheim.
You got to go.
Anaheim's best theater in a strip mall.
Is it really in a strip mall? Please tell me it is. Please tell me it is. Please tell me it is.
It is. Here's the thing, though. It is much nicer than it has a right to be.
Okay. But is there a restaurant right next door where we can get wine?
There's a restaurant. There's a little complex. There's
the thing. There's always a little wine store. So that's at 7:30 on Wednesday night.
Yeah, if you want to, it's still. There are tickets still available, I believe. I don't know. They seem to be selling well. I'm all out of comps. So
you're hearing this on the free feed. So if you do want to subscribe to this show and you want to hear more, if you realize that you're trash early like us and want to listen to You, Me, My Ex, that will also give you Love After Lockup.
Yes.
It will give you Seeking Brother Husband right now. That's airing. But yeah, that is the Lalu cringe tier.
And Lalu, when it comes back in probably...
Well, it's still on right now. I think we have 2 or 3 more episodes.
2 more. Yeah.
But you're going to get all the cringe tier stuff. You're also going to get our regular free feed stuff like 90 Day Fiance, Below Deck, 90 Day UK that we just saw is coming out in July.
Commercial free.
You're going to get all those shows ad free for your pleasure. That's at the $8 tier. Or you can do the $15 tier, which includes all of that. And you get to have you can watch us do a video of the podcast of 90 Day Podcast, or check in with us once a month on a YouTube live.
Intimate portrait where you're right there in between us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Usually I'm trying to touch you inappropriately with my foot.
So kind of like you, me, and my ex. You're that person in the middle. You're April, y'all. Y'all get to be April.
Don't be April. You would rather be DeAndre. You'd much rather be DeAndre.
Or you could be Loren. I really like Loren. I do like Loren. But she enables April, but I like Loren. But she shit stirs.
Here's the thing about Loren.
Uh-oh.
Loren only exists in this world to make life horrible for her ex-husband, John.
Oh, yeah. That's it's great.
It's like May Lisa from Tim and May Lisa.
Uh-huh.
She birthed that baby, and it was a hate baby.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just all of her hatred and emotions went into that baby. It's like, who's the woman on Game of Thrones who sent
Melisandre,
who sent the vengeance,
the Red Witch,
yeah,
yeah,
out, and it killed Ridley Baratheon.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
That's what Loren would do to John.
That is what
she's only friends with April because it drives John nuts.
Yes, it's true. So we only have we have tres menage a trois on this episode. So let's jump in. Let's talk about new couple alert. Whoop whoop.
From last season. Yeah, we didn't have them last season.
Yeah, we did not.
We have 2 returners. We've got 2 returners that we know, and then we also have we didn't see them this episode, but we have the kind of quartet out of Florida. The lesbian couple and the man and his wife.
So I think it's just going to be 4 people, 4 couples,
4 or 5. I'm not sure.
So we'll start out with this first. We'll start for each couple. We'll start with the kind of the person in the nexus, the person in the middle.
DeAndre. I knew you'd think that.
Yeah.
Rowan, DeAndre, and Elodie.
I mean, he's fucking gorgeous. He's like model gorgeous, y'all. DeAndre's 26. He was in a relationship with Rowan, who is 26 as well.
And Elodie is the current girlfriend.
And yes,
28.
Rowan and DeAndre broke up, even though they have a pet rabbit named Muffin.
It's synchronicity.
I went, God damn it, that rabbit's. I'm going to have to hear another fucking Muffin story from Poodle.
It's a cute rabbit.
It's a cute rabbit. And then Elodie, who is 24. Yes.
I thought 28. I don't know why I wrote down 28.
I just guessed.
Who cares?
Right. You're probably right. She's 28.
He is. I Googled this because he said, I'm a pro baseball player. Looks like he was in the minors, which is fine. Even that's hard to do.
Well, the majority of them are in the minors until they finally swing batter, swing batter. Ooh, that's a foul ball. Let me help you get in the strike zone.
Okay.
Let me
get it taken care of.
Ooh.
So he basically says,
charge.
This is why we can never get anywhere, y'all. I'm just trying to tell you about this.
7th inning stretch is a stretch, let me tell you.
7 inches stretch. 7 inches stretch.
It's more than 7 inches.
Wow. Y'all.
All right, I'm done.
They are getting iced tea for his mother. Mom loves her. It looks like, I don't know where they are.
They're in Atlanta.
No, I'm going to say I don't know what restaurant they are. It's one of these.
They might be. Maybe there's a Scooters. Maybe.
I'm not familiar with Scooters.
Scooters? Oh, we just got a Scooters coffee in Ardmore, Oklahoma. It's a big deal.
I'm going to say I'm pretty sure it's not Scooters.
Well, but no, it's a chain, I believe. It's a chain maybe in the South. So maybe, or it could be H2O. That's a big, that's in the old Wendy's.
Your chains are not Southern chains. Let's be clear. They are weird Oklahoma chains that exist nowhere else.
H2O is a big deal. I'm pretty sure they have one over by Stillwell and Greasy.
So they're getting iced tea for his mother.
His mother.
And turns out they met. I thought when I saw them together, I said, "Oh, this is the guy with his current girlfriend." I immediately thought.
Because the way they interact, the way she even sits next to him.
She's in love with him.
As if she's in love with the boy.
No, she's playing the long game.
Oh.
She's playing. That's why I'm saying I can kind of understand her. She's playing the long game.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the deal with DeAndre. We're gonna get it, but basically, I mean, yes, there's probably a self-centeredness to it, but DeAndre is just a fucking 26-year-old man who doesn't know what the fuck they want and doesn't want to
Absolutely
commit
not.
and doesn't want to commit to someone at 26 years old because they're fucking gorgeous and traveling the world playing baseball. Why should he settle down right now? What does he have to
Well,
settle down for?
that's true. Well, one would say
I can't blame him.
because he loves the person he's with.
Not when you're 26.
I agree with you, but I'm saying that when you ask why should he settle down, and I said because he loves the person he's with.
Yeah, I think Rowan has more of. Not that there's anything. I don't mean anything by wrong. I think Rowan has more of a. I'd be interested to know if she's originally from Atlanta. She seems kind of a smaller town mentality.
I don't know. She said she went to school in South Carolina though, so I don't know. That's a good question.
So, but they talk about how they met.
I don't think she's naive at all, though, being from a small town.
I don't think she's naive, but I think I mean, and I like her actually a lot. But she basically said they were together for 2.5 years. When she saw him, she couldn't kiss him. And the producer said, "Why couldn't you kiss him?" And she said, "Because I was dating someone.
I was dating someone else. So I sent my friend to kiss him to see if he could kiss. And she said he could. So I broke up with the other guy."
So I just want to tell you, y'all, that this is with the first 5 minutes. I went, this is someone who can't be alone.
I agree with you. Definitely.
Yeah.
The other thing, so they've been broken up for 3 years.
3.
So y'all,
they've been broken up longer than they were together.
It seems like they've developed this thing where she's there as his best friend. She is completely happy with playing that role, and then she's become a necessary part of his life. It's like that thing on Seinfeld, George. It's like you just become here, and then I got used to you. Costanza. It's like a theme song that you just have to sing for else. So he's gotten used to her being there and helping him out with things, helping him out with his mother, and becoming friends with his mother. Y'all, if you can become friends with your ex's mother, you're in. You're in.
Yeah.
That's insidious. Now, it might have been...
I'm really good at that.
What, you?
Oh, mothers love me.
Yeah,
but
mothers do love you.
But I love mothers.
You're a mother lover.
Even your mother tolerates me probably more than your... I'm probably the one friend she actually asks about.
No.
Oh, don't you lie. I know your mother asked about me.
Don't
you even lie. Oh, you won't admit it. You won't admit it.
Yeah. She asked about everybody else.
Sure.
She does ask about you.
Thank you.
And I said, he's in rehab for the 3rd time this year.
Just doing a lot of coke, Mom. Oh, God. Jaybird. Worry about your friends.
Yeah, Mom, I'm the most put together of all of them. They're all drug addicts, sex addicts. Yeah, it's all bad. It's all bad, Mom.
All bad.
Where was I?
Even so much, she's like, you have an ingrown hair. I got to pick that out later. Literally,
any excuse to touch him.
Yep, no boundaries at all. None.
0. And then at one point, I got to say, Elodie has some real flair for the dramatic. She just sits down on the couch, turns says that, and I'm Elodie. I'm the girlfriend. And so they're bringing Mom iced tea, and Mom.
Not Elodie. This is just,
y'all, Elodie, this is the thing.
Well, Elodie lives in Florida. We're going to find that out later.
Everything feels kind of weird on Elodie's side here. Part of me thinks that she's in it to compete with Rowan.
But she said she's not here for the drama, and that if Rowan likes her, but I went,
If
I didn't buy
anyone
that.
ever says I'm not here for the drama, they are.
They're here for the drama.
They're here for the drama. So this idea of Elodie and DeAndre have been together 8 months. He slid into her DMs and because he saw her on an Explorer page, as he says, and Elodie says, "Yeah, I found out they were talking about 4 to 5 months after we were dating." And she's like, "Yeah, I think it's weird." And I just wrote down, "Elodie is dumb." Bitch, just leave. You'll find someone else who will probably treat you better. Because this guy's, there are too many strings here. This is not going to end well for you. She will wind up making him break up with you. I am certain of it.
Do you think Rowan and DeAndre are fucking? Or at least had some slip ups in the while he was with Elodie?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm 100%.
Yeah. Elodie, get out of there.
We all see it.
But part of me thinks, she said, "I'm not here for the drama." I think she enjoys the competition in a weird way.
It's the competition.
I enjoy the competition.
If you were in this, you would say, "I'm not here for the drama," and you would stay in it to win.
Yep, that's exactly what I would do.
You would. Well, maybe not you now, but you in your early 30s and your 20s for sure.
Totally. Y'all, and Mom really likes Rowan. Rowan hangs
Miss V. She rides up in a motorcycle, y'all, in a purple helmet.
And Rowan hangs out with Miss V when DeAndre is not even there. Because this is the weird thing. He lives in Miami, y'all.
He lives in Miami. So when he visits Atlanta, he either stays with his mother or Rowan. So there's an option where he could stay with his mother, but he still stays with his ex-girlfriend. And Elodie is fine with him staying with his ex-girlfriend. And to that, I say,
bitch.
No, not this is past being dumb. This is something we don't know yet. This is something in Elodie. I think it's past dumb because to me, then I don't feel sorry for you.
I agree.
I am not a jealous person at all, but I would never let my ex stay with or let my current boyfriend stay with their ex.
As long as DeAndre and Rowan are friends, she will in all intents and purposes torpedo every relationship he is in.
Yeah.
Until he decides he's grown up enough to be with her. And congratulations, Rowan, you've won.
That's what she's waiting on. She's waiting for him to get his shit together.
One of the reasons he broke up with her, y'all, is he says, "I wasn't ready to settle down. I broke up. I moved to Miami." There was no real after party.
He said basically they broke up and he immediately moved to Miami. And look, he even said, which was hot when he said, "I moved to Miami." And he said, what did he say? He said, "When I moved to, Boca Raton," right? Are they in Miami or Boca Raton? Is that close? I think
that's Elodie. Elodie's in Boca.
He said, "I think I was low key hurt, but I basically was just thinking about who I was going to give it to. I'm leaning in. I know who you can give it to, DeAndre." God.
I think he's a young 26 too for a man.
100%.
He, y'all, Muffin the Rabbit then enters our story. And that is, so not only is it this ex who's his best friend, now he has a pet tying him to Rowan.
Yeah.
It's a great con she's running. It's got everything.
It's got everything. A lot of people use pets to keep an ex.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
So they, and then at one point,
remember when I couldn't find Sophie for a week and you told me you had taken her because your ex was in his 80s and you used Sophie to get him to sign that will.
Just to get her to make him say, "I will not deal with her anymore."
Yeah. You said, "This is our dog," and he believed you.
Yeah, he was way into dementia at that point. Unfortunately, she kind of acted like she didn't know him. So He almost saw through it, and then I kept pressing, and then I stepped on his oxygen tank. And then
You stepped on
got
his and you said that you would take me to the Sizzler for stealing my dog for a week, and I'm still waiting on that dinner.
Well, weight in one hand and pee in the other.
Some guys are into that.
So she's like, basically Muffin is like her baby, and she's like, I'll never forget, I wrote you a letter talking about how you belittled my love for Muffin and you wouldn't follow her on Instagram. And I went, whoa, that's a lot.
I do think Rowan, that you just said it. I think Rowan's a lot. I think Rowan is high maintenance. I think that it's a lot to be in a relationship with her. And I do think probably DeAndre doesn't want to say it, but probably he just needed a break and probably wants to be with a woman who is low key and low maintenance. And Elodie gives Elodie off that vibe that I'm a cool girl when she's not really, probably.
She's going to be like Rowan in probably 6 months. Yeah.
Maybe not, because Elodie has a child, and she
That's
mentions
true.
when she's talking to her friend later, Zoe, who guest star of the episode. This is kind of,
Yeah.
but she says, we can talk about that later, but just one point to make. I'm wondering, like, whereas the only thing that trumps someone having a dog or an animal that they're in love with with an ex is if you can get a guy to fall in love with your kid.
True.
And Elodie's kid is cute, and she says DeAndre's so good with her.
There's no way DeAndre is going to be a father at 26.
No way.
Especially this man, y'all. He's a playboy. He's looking for the next shiny thing.
I mean, think about John and Fernandez. He was a baseball player, and he wasn't ready to settle down.
And he was in his 30s.
He was, yeah.
So Rowan hears him say, I love you to her on the phone. She's like, oh, well, that's new. And she's like, 2 years ago, it was all about going out for you and blah, blah, blah. And y'all, she's like, ooh, I may have to make some adjustments to my plan.
Tick, 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 tick. It's all she's thinking about it.
We should take a break and then move on to our next quartet. Okay, we're back. It's time for Bob, Ted, Carol, and Alice. I mean, April, John, Roy, and Loren.
Yeah. They did a good job
in North Carolina.
In North Carolina. They did a good job explaining this dynamic, because it's very confusing. I don't even want to go into who was with who and what, because I think you and I'll just confuse ourselves.
Yeah. What you need to know is that currently, or at the end of last season, April and John were together. Roy was April's ex, and Loren, who is John's ex, is currently April's best friend.
Yes.
And the big conflict of last season was John, April's current husband, not wanting Roy, her ex-husband, to be at April's wedding because she's, I want Roy there. Roy's my best friend. And then the day of the wedding, they got matching tattoos, and John thought that was weird, which it is.
Didn't they get matching tattoos with their daughter?
Yeah, something like that.
Like they got a family tattoo.
April is the villain of the season for me. I find her manipulating everyone to whatever end is good for her in the moment. And she's playing these four people like guitars, and they don't seem to be aware of it.
Here's the thing with April. Man, woman, whatever. When you're around her, she makes you feel like you're the only person in the room. And y'all, she freaky deaky in bed.
She is.
That's where her pull comes from.
I also think that John's a piece of shit. He gives me that vibe. He gives me extreme. I think he's extremely emotionally neglectful of her. And I think that's what he did to Loren.
I don't villainize April as much as you do. I understand where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
I think April can be very selfish. And I think, though, that I do think that April is expecting you got to think about where they are. They're in Jacksonville, North Carolina.
It's a city, though.
I know, but it's to the south.
Big military city. That's
And
why
yeah,
both
it's the
John and
south.
Roy were in the military.
It's south. He was a military guy. That April, I think why I like April in some ways, I at least like April and Loren, and like when they show the bit of their podcast. And I remember when last season I listened to a little bit of the podcast. Just I relate to them in that these are two women that are trying to push the envelope in their small town because they feel very, I think,
I get that.
in prison. And as a queer person from the South, I know we both get that. So I think that's why kind of my heart goes out to them. It's just that April takes that and runs with it. But I think her expectations of John are completely unrealistic of a military man in the South.
Yeah, I just think she's, to paraphrase to Larissa, you're an attention whore. I think everything is about her.
I do think that.
And it is exhausting to be in her life. I think the only reason what she needed a couple of things to completely, when she left Roy, when Roy wanted, she said that Roy wasn't enough for her, basically. That's going to be a trend for y'all in April's life. There's no man who's going to be enough for her. She's going to consistently seek out other
Happiness
men.
is always outside of herself.
Yes. Roy, for all we know, maybe he wasn't a good husband. I don't know, but that's what she keeps saying.
Well, she mentioned he was gone a lot, and Roy mentioned that too.
Well, he was in the military.
I know.
And here's the other issue, y'all. She told him she was fooling around with her next door neighbor, John, because they were comforting each other. And then when Roy flew back across to try to work it out, let me finish. When Roy tried to work it out, she said no. And
she said no. But Loren, when April was fooling around with John, was Loren with John or were they broken up?
No, Loren was with John.
That's what I was going to say. So Loren was with John while April was cheating with her husband. Yet, as we realize, John's so much of an asshole that Loren got over it and was like, April's actually cool. And this is a way for me to troll my ex-husband for the rest of his life.
I think you're incorrect in saying that Loren got over it. I think that she hates John so much.
But not April.
Well, I think she hated April at the beginning. But the idea of being April's best friend, she realized she had a lot in common. But this is kind of the best thing that she's got going right now. The closer she is with April, the more it drives her ex nuts because there's no one in this world she hates more than John.
That's kind of what y'all, I mean, you do too, but I mean,
that's what I love about this storyline.
Even if it's a little
hate.
Well, it's fueled by hate, but even if it's a little fucked up, y'all, maybe I don't know if it's a feminist in me, but I love watching women stick it to some men sometimes.
And they're fucking John with an emotional strap on.
Oh yeah, they're just pegging him. He's just in an emotional swing, just getting pegged with April's lips just coming at him, going,
those big old lips. And Roy's just sitting over there watching and drinking whiskey.
He's in the cuckold chair, just stroking himself, drinking whiskey.
It all does feel, for April, there's a big kink to it all of watching everyone kind of tiptoe around her, and April's moving the pieces around. That's one of the reasons why I think she's a villain, is I think it's more important for her to control these pieces than caring about these people emotionally.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I don't know if I go that far, but I can see that. It'll be interesting to see, because I do have sympathy for her that as we start the show, y'all, they're trying to just get them to, I was kind of watching this going, what the fuck is going on? Because we've never seen, we see producers, we see sound people, we see camera people. We never see these people in the shot, and they're all in their house and they're like, what's going on? And finally we realize they're just trying to get all four of them to sit down for their in the moment, talking head interview, all on one couch. And so there's this 5-minute discussion of
who let the dog out.
Woo,
woo, woo, woo, woo, woo. And she's like, well, I told you, then you had to be rude to me. And John over there is sitting.
But no, but that's when they were on the couch. I'm saying that
Yeah.
there's 5 minutes of them saying, who's going to sit on the couch? Well, where are you going to sit? Well, where do you want me to sit, Roy? Where do you want me to sit, John? Well, I don't know where you want. Well, someone needs to tell me where to sit, John.
Sit, producer.
Tell me where to, producer, tell me. And the producer very smartly says, oh, well, you can sit wherever you want to sit.
And Lauren's like sitting there around there. She's like, it's always like this. And she's loving every minute because it's chaos.
And Roy says, I'm going to fix a drink. Oh, it's so good. If you don't watch, now some of you just listen to us, but this episode's worth watching, y'all.
I was texted by a sissy that's saying Loren actually has a girlfriend.
Okay, I was going to say that I could see, that's so funny. I was going to say at the end of this segment, I could actually see Loren and April both ended up being with women.
So y'all, where we are now, it has been as the producers kind of drag it out of them. John and April are separated.
Yes.
And they'd only been married for a couple of months before this separation happened.
Yes.
And it seems that that she could not get anything out of him emotionally.
Yes.
And could not share his life, which seemed to be her problem with Roy.
Yes.
As well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe don't date men who have made their careers out of the military. When if they do, when there's a reason why they can't share things emotionally, because what they learn to shut that down because of what they have to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't date military guys, but that's part of being in the military, guys. What you sometimes have to deal with.
No, that's why there's so much. I mean, it just leads. I don't mean it as like a blamey thing. It's just it's a cause and effect of why there's so much PTSD and
how you have to live,
how you have to survive to get through that.
So, she says April said he never lets me in, and I just said Lauren's just there, just trying to destroy John. That's the only reason she's still there.
I wrote that, and then the next thing I wrote, and Roy is happier than a pig in shit.
Oh, y'all, he's
remember, y'all, this is the woman that left him for John.
Yeah.
And if you don't remember last season, he and John get along.
They do.
It's always this underlying where John feels a little uncomfortable, and Roy fucking hates John.
Yeah.
Because Roy, I think Roy still has feelings for April.
Also, remember, it was barely. Roy definitely has feelings for April. It was basically talked about by Loren that John had cheated on her before with other women.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
And so it was a miserable marriage. And
John's got a big dick. People.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point, she's like, "I just want you to let me in." And John says, "I married you for your ability to love, not to speak." And y'all, April just goes, "I'm sorry. I need some time."
I need some time. And
I would do it too. I would have punched him in the face.
And you see Loren rolls her eyes, and you see Roy go, "I'm going to get a drink." This is
so fucking messy.
It's so messy and so good. You could not script it better.
I agree. That's why I don't believe there's a lot of fraudacity here.
No.
I think this is just wonderful messiness.
Oh.
So y'all, Loren, moving on. Loren moved into the house in April, and they've been calling it a domestic partnership. It's not.
John moved out.
I don't even believe they really sleep in the same bed. I believe she moved in because she wanted to, and it pisses John off more.
It's a little bit. Sometimes men don't usually do this, but sometimes I do know women that do this. So they almost like kind of kid and say like, "Oh, we're in a relationship," but that kind of irks me a little bit because of women that actually are in a queer relationship. Yeah. And I don't think this is that.
Here's the thing: I think April loves perpetuating that because everyone wants April. April needs to be the most wanted person. And it's to the, I'm not going to sing it.
Good.
Wanting to be wanted, needing to be needed.
Are you done?
She wants to be wanted.
Okay, we're done.
That's what it is. So y'all, the other thing here, they call it a domestic partnership. Uh,
Loren, I loved it when Loren said, "I think I lost 25 brain cells sitting here."
she's my favorite.
I love her.
And just wrote down, my last thing I wrote down was Loren lives on 3 square meals of John hate. That's all. She's just in this life to make his life miserable. And
It's pretty much they show a little bit of April and Loren doing their podcast, which I think is called like Past Chaos.
it's called Past Chaos, yeah.
It's just them talking about being moms, but again,
And blended families.
and blended families, and also again, like they're talking about how their vagina looks like. Again, y'all, some of you like in more kind of progressive areas might think, "What's the big deal?" It's a big deal where we're from. People don't talk about stuff like that.
That
still.
it is true.
Oh, I see that.
Some of the main problem I have with this arrangement is that there are children involved, and it seems like there are relatively young children involved.
Yeah.
So I don't like it that they're probably having to deal with the fallout of these relationships.
Well, Roy says to her that so they show them, and Loren, I think this is important. I want to bring it up because Loren and April are in the bed talking, and Roy comes in and he's like, "So, how long have you?" He jokingly says, "How long have you been found in this newfound domestic partnership with you and Loren?" And April says, "What, 5 or 6 months?" And it's weird. He almost acts like they are in a relation. They're not. I don't think they are, y'all. But Loren or John basically said, or Roy's basically saying, "Look, I know John feels like he's been replaced overnight, but Roy says, I don't think you've given yourself time to process any of this, what's happened.
He's correct.
You've just jumped from one thing to the next, and basically people are collateral." He doesn't say this, but he's insinuating people are collateral damage, and April needs to get right and figure out what she actually wants and who she wants to fucking be.
Well, here's the thing. She's never going to figure that out because she's just going to go to the person who needs her the most, or the person that she thinks she should be with, and she's going to suck everything out of that person, and she's going to move on. Me in my 20s. Trust me.
Trust poodle.
Trust and believe.
Let's talk about it, y'all.
Beyoncé, otherwise known as Alex.
Alex, y'all. It's Alex.
Caroline and Steven.
So Alex is a person that was in the relationship with Steven. And
tracksuits. Otherwise, she just needed a tracksuit.
They're in Atlanta as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Alex is always wearing tracksuits with Steven. And then Steven and Alex broke up. Wasn't that too Alex's first same-sex relationship? I don't remember. I feel like it was.
I can't remember if it was his first, but it was his most recent, I believe. Because he got with Caroline right after Steven.
And then after he and Steven broke up, he got with Caroline. So, yeah.
They have a second cat named Dorit. Like the housewife. Take that as you will. And she's blind from herpes.
And Alex is like, I'm not even going to get into that.
I didn't know cats could get herpes. Y'all, cat people are going to come for me and help in educating me. I'm going to Google it after this. So you don't need to give me all the reasons why cats get herpes.
Don't post in the Sissy Squad about your cat having herpes because we don't approve pet posts because people just start fighting. So you can just
it's bad.
You can tell your youth director on Sunday night about your cat. You
can tell little Werther's original that's your cat name that we're sorry she has herpes.
I don't understand why they have to feed the blind cat under the bed.
It went I feel like the cat, I don't know, couldn't find its way out, or maybe the cat preferred being under the bed. I don't know. Yo,
I just think when you're having a baby, might not be the right time to adopt a blind cat.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with you. So Caroline's basically saying, last year we really decided we need boundaries with Steven because y'all, Steven was really taking, I think because his parents were older and he was taking COVID very seriously. He never came out of his basement.
He didn't. He was
And
like,
he was living with his parents.
he was on. We only saw him like once outside, or twice maybe, and the rest of the time he was on the phone. So
Right.
it made you. So what is different about this season already that we didn't see? I think in the first season is it felt a little fraudacity because we didn't see the relationship between Alex and Steven. Now that we can see them in person, you 100% see the enmeshment of these two people that really, I don't think you got. I'm seeing it a lot more. Like Steven is full on hung up on Alex.
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm trying to see this. I can understand it from Steven's perspective. I think Steven is so dull. And I guess Alex just likes having Steven around because someone who depends on him and someone who really wants to be with him.
I think Steven says yes. I think that's why Alex likes him.
Y'all know that Alex, what last season Alex was an emotional mess, and I don't think things have really changed.
He was like crying we talked a lot about how it bi, I don't even know if he identifies as bi. I don't know how he identifies.
I don't know.
That doesn't
I'm
matter.
not
It doesn't
sure.
matter how he identifies. But the way he talks, and they talked about last season, and he even said it this episode where Steven reminds me of, quote, my old life, or who it does feel like there's a lot of gay, queer, whatever, about
shame,
same sex shame. I don't know if that's compounded that they're both the black men in the South in Atlanta.
Yep.
But that I don't know why you would say he reminds you of that. Just triggered me.
Well, he said that before, and it almost feels like he's saying, things how they used to be. And it seems like he's either, to me, that feels like he's quote unquote reformed himself from being that way.
Well, and I don't know if I'm not saying that Caroline is a beard and that he's actually gay and just with her just to make him, but I'm not saying that at all. I totally believe he's bi and attracted to her and all that. That's fine. It's almost more though, like, to me, why wouldn't you say that's your old life, but it's just your life? If you're bi,
no.
You date men and then you date women, and maybe you date
is
a man, or you're poly. Well, yeah.
Everything belies that he is very ashamed of that part of his life. And Steven is the only connection that he needs to feel some connection to that part of his life when he dated men. But Steven is the safe connection to it. And I still find it to be quite disturbing. Their relationship.
Well, we said last season, we talked about, we felt like there was trauma for him.
Yeah, had to be. He doesn't have a good relationship with his parents.
He forgot he doesn't, does he?
Yeah. Or it's awkward. He can't really be himself.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
We met his sister.
Yeah.
Because even his sister, I think his sister was full on like,
why don't you be gay?
Yeah, well, you're gay. Why don't you be gay? So there's and that bothered us too, because it's this idea that just because someone is effeminate and because he is, and I mean we are, so I can say that just because someone's effeminate doesn't.
What do you mean?
What do you? How dare you?
Clutch his pearls.
That's people expressing their gender can be attracted to anyone. So we're not saying that, but it's.
I have been fucked by some femmy tops, y'all. Fuck.
You know what? I got the dicking down of my life from a guy once in like who did like just a blouse. That's the word I was looking for.
A blouse, feminine top.
I mean, ooh.
Anyway, so y'all
so pretty. I remember when they were. I'm not going to get into details like you do. I'm gonna keep the details of my sex life out of the show, unlike some other people.
I don't know what you're talking about. So y'all, the thing about here is they've got two secrets. They are pregnant and they got married. They got married. Sorry, pregnant. And Steven thinks he's planning a bachelor party, and at one point, Alex is still like, really getting very upset because he's like, I really can't lose Steven. And I don't think this is fake because
I
he
don't.
has this weird, strong emotional connection to him. And it was almost like he needs Steven to be there because it reminds him of something where he could be a more authentic person than he is with Caroline, or a different kind of person.
Uh,
Um,
yes, so when I was talking about earlier at the top of the show, I think Alex is like a bad evil person? I don't, but I think that he is so affected by his trauma, he's so scared of being alone with himself,
yeah.
and that on top of what that I'm just going to call it gay shame. So because whether he's bi or not, the fact
No,
that
there's
he's
a
with
lot
a
of
man,
shame.
it feels like gay, queer. Like I know you,
It's
I know you fucked the author, but he should definitely read The Velvet Rage.
that is the most ironic thing. I
Yeah.
always think, y'all, when I fucked the guy who wrote the Velvet Rage, we banged and he was real weird and he blocked me right after. That's the ultimate shame experience.
What an asshole. What a hypocrite.
No, oh, that's a thing for some guys. You'll have sex with them and they'll block you immediately.
Well, I wanted to, but I will say that book didn't fully resonate for me because I don't have a lot of inner gay shame. But I know that especially for a lot of just in clients and in people I know, especially for a lot of black men I know,
Mm-hmm.
that black gay or whatever down low men, and I've known a few. Um, but
Biblically.
I've read at one point I just had 10 copies of that book and I would just hand it out anytime someone came. I'm not kidding. I'd like 3. I was like, just take it.
Here, take a book on your way out. It's your
Take
parting gift.
yeah, party. I signed it. I didn't write it, but I still signed it. But no, that could be a really helpful book out there as a resource. So there's it's it almost feels like too in this day and age, it's shocking to me, but it feels like Alex feels like you can't have a family if you're with a man. Like you need to be with a
That's
woman
what
and
it
have a
feels. Yeah.
child,
Yeah.
which is so that's not the way the world is now, but
I don't think it matters because that's what he feels and that's what was modeled for him. And I don't
mhm.
think he can get over the modeling that was done for him as a younger person and because that's what he believes. And
It
yeah,
sounds like we're dragging them. I actually really like watching this. I mean, I like watching a lot of this show, but I like watching them. And this one, sometimes I laugh at it, like especially when Caroline's met, but it's also sad because whereas with April, like I agree with you, April can be a really shitty person. I don't think any of these 3 people
I
are
totally agree with
shitty.
you.
I
I
think
totally
they're
agree.
all like good people that are, but they're really all trying to figure out life together, but not dealing with the trauma beneath it.
I I need Caroline. I don't maybe she does this. I doubt it. I need Caroline to ask herself some hard questions.
Okay, so what? Because I think I think Caroline, y'all, especially when you meet Caroline's mother, and we haven't heard. Did we ever meet Caroline's dad?
I don't think we do.
Isn't her mother divorced like several times?
Oh, definitely several.
So, and she's kind of like Caroline's mother, y'all, has a martini at 10 a.m. I feel like she's that type of woman.
She's
So,
very much a very much a southern lady. Very Suzanne Sugarbaker.
yes, and it
Yeah,
feels very Suzanne, and it feels like whereas Alex kind of is running away for something, it almost feels like Caroline's running away from something. I don't know what
yeah.
that is.
Well, and the thing is though, the way things are moving, Caroline's going to be the one with something to lose here.
That's who you.
Unfortunately.
That is who you. That's who I worry about most because Alex is gonna. Alex is always gonna find someone to land
Yep.
on, and
Yep.
I'm afraid Caroline's gonna be one day
Caroline's
stuck
made
with the
Alex her
baby.
world.
Yes, I
Yeah,
worry about
that's
that.
the problem. And y'all, so they're having dinner with Steven, and they tell him about. They're like, so there's no strippers at the bachelor party. I'm like,
Caroline says
Which
no
ones?
strippers. Yeah, which one? Yeah.
But basically they're saying things like, there's no wedding because we're married and there's a baby. And Steven's reaction is all of our reactions. What?
Because it is
What?
shitty.
You had a baby with her?
Yeah, he's like, who? What?
Her?
It is
Him?
shitty that Alex is like, they're months into it. She's due very soon.
No, but this is Alex's pattern. He doesn't want people to hate him or dislike him or be disappointed in him. So he waits the very last minute and he makes you say, you don't hate me, do you?
Don't
He's
be
that
mad at me.
friend.
Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me.
When someone says that, I'm like, I am, and I'm not going to not be mad at you.
Wow. So empathetic.
Makes me more angry when you say, don't be mad at me. Don't tell me what to do.
Wow.
That's all I've got.
It's Steven says, it's interesting because I forgot, how long did Steven and Alex date? A while, right? Like a year?
I don't remember. It's so weird because Alex is such an engaging kind of, especially in front of the camera, this like larger than life personality.
Yeah, he's funny.
Steven is just this like rock, just this schlub.
Well, I think Alex, probably they liked being together because Alex was the life of the party. And
I guess. But even Caroline's got funny lines.
Caroline, I think y'all, Caroline is working on to be her mother. She's a young drag queen in training.
Yeah, I love Caroline.
I do too. Like, she's funny. She says really funny things.
When I saw on someone sent it on social media and they sent it to us, and I was like, those two had a baby. Oh, no. Because y'all, spoiler alert, the baby's come. Because this was filmed like last year.
Yeah. But Steven said, I just want to say one thing, and then but Steven said, Alex and I never talked about kids, so I'm really surprised by this. So it is like Alex thought, well, two men could never.
That's what it was.
The only thing I can feel like that we don't know about, I feel like Alex probably grew up very religious in the South.
That's a good theory.
They've never talked about it.
Yeah, I definitely in his core beliefs, I think he does believe that. He does believe in theory that two men could raise a child, but he doesn't really believe it, that people would accept it morally. He doesn't actually believe it.
Or maybe his parents wouldn't accept it.
Right. So I think for him, this is what it does feel like he needed to do this to have a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Okay, y'all. What a great episode.
Whoa, y'all, there's more mess coming.
Oh, I am so... this was a great episode. We're going to get more Miss V. It's going to be good side characters. Good Miss V. We didn't even fully talk about... We mentioned her, but we didn't fully talk about Zoe, Elodie's friend in Florida. Remember on the phone call where she said, see you soon? So
right.
That Zoe's going to be rolling up to Atlanta, meeting Rowan, and it's going to be good.
She's a formidable opponent.
She is.
I think I'd be more scared of Zoe than Elodie.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Who's going to be more scared of? Me or my best friend Poodle that rolls up to quiz you?
Yeah, y'all don't fuck with me. Yeah.
All right, everybody. That's the show. I don't know how we ended this show. I didn't listen. So I don't know how we ended it.
I don't remember. I don't remember either. Fuck me.
Was it go fuck your ex?
Yes.
Was that it?
Yes.
Did I just
your ex?
Yeah, y'all. We'll see you next week. Go to realitygates.com. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. If you want to listen to the second episode of this, you got to jump onto Reality Gates Plus at the $8 tier. So we hope to see you on that. Until then, what, Poodle?
Go fuck your ex. Not you, Rowan. Not you.